Almost everyone in their life has experienced the culinary masterpiece that is spaghetti and meatballs.
Now here you are, the best spaghetti in a town.
This classic dish is a family favorite when it comes to dinner time. After all, nothing is more comforting than heaping a plate full of spaghetti that is soaked in marinara sauce and delectable meatballs. But when did this delicious pasta dish actually start? And how? The story of the spaghetti meatballs begins somewhere in the late 19th, early 20th century, when Italian immigrants came to America. With very little money, it was only natural that they turned to their most affordable recipes. So the polpette quickly became a staple in the Italian communities. Side note, the spaghetti meatballs isn't an Italian dish per se. It's a distant cousin to the Italian polpette, which is a smaller meatball and can be made from any meat, and isn't served with spaghetti. The Italian immigrants tried new and creative ways to make the dish more appealing. Canned tomatoes were cheap and widely available, so the marinara sauce was quickly added to the dish. Now, I've heard some people call it sailor's sauce, but that stems from the fact that marinara comes from the Italian word marinaro, which means sailor. Anyway, to make the meal more substantial and filling, cooks began introducing the cheapest noodle around, the spaghetti. Another quick side note. Pasta was first documented in Italy in the 13th century when Marco Polo returned from his trip to China. He referred to it as lasagna to describe the noodles he had seen, but more on that in a later episode. As time went on, Italian immigrants started earning more money and were able to buy more meat. They didn't have to rely so much on the stale bread soaked in milk solution to pack out the protein. And so the meatball grew in size and density into what we know today. The dish itself is a food that fits nicely into the Western culture lifestyle, with its emphasis on ease, speed and convenience. Not only that, it's a comfort food that represents that hearty, warm, comforting, I love my family kind of a feeling. A simple dish with a history of genuine immigrant culture, born out of hard work and hard times. The only problem is, who would you give your last meatball to?
The night will weave its magic spell on this lovely bed on earth.
Canned tomatoes were cheap and widely available, so the marinara sauce was quickly added to the dish.